And we welcome you into tonight's broadcast of SFA baseball as we get started on a three-game series here against University of Tennessee Martin. The Skyhawks come to town with a one win on the season as the Jacks come in off of a heartbreaker yesterday afternoon against Texas Tech Red Raiders. Jacks were 1 out away from winning that game against Texas Tech yesterday. Ended up falling 5-4 in that one yesterday, and they look to pick up a win here in the second game here of the 2014 season here at Jaycees Field. We've got Cameron Gann on the hill for the Lumberjacks, the junior right-hander. Looks to pick up a win. He's already 1-0 on the season. Second pitch, and he's got Chase Young swinging here for the Skyhawks. 0-2 count early on here for Gann. 0-2 pitch coming now. That one high and away. One-two pitch coming now from Gann. That one just misses high and outside as well to even up the count at 2-2. As I mentioned, Gann 1-0 on the season. We'll get to his stats here in just a moment. The 2-2 pitch coming from Gann. Swung on and missed, and there's the first K of the evening here at Jaycees Field. One down here for the Jacks. As I mentioned, Cameron Gann 1-0 here this season. 2.25 ERA, 1-0 overall. He's pitched 12 innings. 6 hits, given up 3 runs, 3 earned runs, and two walks and 8 strikeouts. Make that 9 strikeouts now for Gann as he'll go to face the right fielder for the Skyhawks, Taylor Douglas. Shows bunt there on the first pitch, but pulls back for called ball 1. Gann winds and throws, and that was called for a strike. Head coach Brad Goss here for the Skyhawks, appointed as the interim head coach here at UT Martin of September 2013. Looking to get a win here with his Skyhawks in town in Nacogdoches. 1-1 pitch there, called strike. And Gann looking good early here as he tries to punch another one out here in the top of the first inning. 1-2 pitch coming now from Gann. That one's outside, and it'll even up the count at 2-2. The right fielder Taylor Douglas, 17 at-bats, has got picked up an RBI, but batting zeros on the board as Skyhawks come in 1-7. 2-2 count. That one fouled away. We'll have more on the Skyhawks here in just a moment. Douglas, 17 at-bats, 1 RBI, 105 on-base percentage. His last start was February 21st against Eastern Michigan, and he was 0 for 4 in that game. Gann trying to get him started 0-1 here in tonight's ball game. 2-2 pitch, and that one's going to be outside to set up a full count here as Gann faces Douglas here with 1K already here in the top of the first as you got Chase Young swinging. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That one lined right back at Gann and up the middle for a base hit. So that'll help the batting average there for Taylor Douglas. And he gets on board with 1 out here in the inning, and that'll bring up the center fielder Fletcher Johnson. Johnson on the year, 182 average, 33 at-bats, 2 RBIs. Runner on first here for the Skyhawks. 1 out. Gann on the mound coming from the stretch. Sets, and he deals. That one called strike to get it started. Gann looks over at Coach Goss for the sign. Gann looking good early so far. 6 strikes already. Gann comes set, deals the 0-1 pitch. It looks back over, and a close call there as Douglas appears to have gotten back in time. Looks back over at Douglas. Gann's going to come set now. Throws back over there. This time no tag put on by Marbury as he wants to keep the right fielder close. Johnson gets back into the box. This time Gans comes to the plate. That one's fouled back and gets the count quickly now to 0-2. As you take a look at your score graphic there, we'll try to keep that updated throughout tonight's matchup for you to help give you a little bit of a visual of what the score and count is. 0-2 here, and Gann fires that one in, but fouled back by Johnson to keep this at bat alive as the umpire has requested from the Diamond Dolls some extra balls to give out here, and Gann gets a new ball, looks to get a strikeout here early to make it number 2 on the night. Gann comes set, and he delivers the 0-2 pitch high and away. Looks like maybe Douglas was going there in a pitch out. Can't get him to go. That'll put the count back to 1-2. Jacks with tonight's game and will play a doubleheader tomorrow against UT Martin. Weather playing a factor in that. Gann throws back over to first. Originally scheduled for a 3-game series against the Skyhawks, but the weather looks to be bad on Sunday as Olsen sets up high, and that one's going to be looped into right field, and Sanchez comes up with it. Base hit there for Fletcher for Fletcher Johnson, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter Phil Sorensen, first baseman. So an early strike and now 2 base hits, and the Skyhawks have runners at first and second with a cleanup hitter, number 9, Phil Sorensen, the first baseman. He's batting .185 on the year, 27 at-bats, no home runs, no RBIs. As Gann looks back to second over at Douglas, comes to the plate, off-speed pitch that time, misses away for ball 1. Runners on first and second here for the Skyhawks. Jacks with an early strikeout to start the game. And Gann's going to come forward now with this one. The runners are off, and Olsen throws down to third, and they've got Douglas, but they're just going to run him back. Now they've got Johnson over in a pickle, and he's just going to run down and tag him out there. And a great job there by sophomore Joseph Olsen. Throws down to third, and Fletcher Johnson got caught in the middle of nowhere. And the Jacks pick up out number 2 on the night. 2-0 count here to Phil Sorensen. First baseman has a .259 slugging percentage this year, a .313 on base percentage. The umpire has signaled it's a 1-1 count, so we'll make that change. Now 1-1 count. Here comes Gann to the plate. That one fouled back here into the net. As you hear the crowd react. And he's got Sorensen in a hole now. 1-2, 2 outs. Jacks with a chance to get out of this one. Runner on second, Taylor Douglas, who got the first hit of the ball game. Fletcher Johnson got cut up over there on first for out number 2, and Gann delivers the 1-2 pitch, and this time turns around. That time Will Vest not ready over there on short. Keeping him honest there is Gann. Takes a look now back at Douglas. Comes to the plate now, 1-2 count. That one just misses inside, and Gann kind of skipped and hopped his way off the mound thinking it was going to be a called strike 3. He'll have to pitch another. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. And Sorensen steps into the box. Gann looks him down. Gann sets, delivers the 2-2 pitch. That one is swung on and missed. And there you have it. Cameron Gann, the junior, off to a tremendous start here. 2 Ks to start this game, and a nice way to get out of the first inning. We'll have the bottom half of the first inning with Matthew Dickey, Ricardo Sanchez, and Joseph Olson leading it off for the Jacks here in just a moment. And Matthew Dickey, the sophomore from Kilgore, Texas, will get things started here for the Lumberjacks. Dickey with a .378 average, 3 games played. He started all 8 of them, 37 at bats, and he takes strike 1 there. 14 hits on the season, 6 runs scored, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, and 2 walks. He's also had 4 stolen bases. Definitely a threat there on the base paths, and he gets it started for the Jacks with a base hit. And the threat on the base paths is out there. So you'll watch UT Martin keep a close eye on him. That'll bring up the senior Ricardo Sanchez, right fielder here for the Jacks. The only preseason all-conference first team member here. Has a very young team for the Jacks. A couple of freshmen in the starting lineup. Lost some key players last year, including Hunter Dozier, who we'll talk a little bit more about later on. And Ricardo Sanchez may beat this one out, and he does. Ricardo Sanchez lays down the beautiful sac bunt, and he'll just beat it out. And so that puts runners at first and second here for the Jacks. No outs. Now to bring up catcher Joseph Olson, sophomore out of Waco, Texas. 6'1", 215. And Olson stands in the box. He's got runners out there. Dickey at second and Sanchez at first. On the heel for UT Martin, it's Taylor Cox, as Olson just bunts this one down, and he does exactly what Coach Johnny Cardenas asks him to do and lays down the sac bunt and moves the runners to second and third. And that'll bring up our cleanup hitter, the senior, number 24, Mackenzie Handel. 5'11", 200-pound senior out of Chandler, Arizona. Transfer from Chandler Gilbert Community College. And he has a chance to do some damage early on here in this ball game. As I mentioned, Taylor Cox, the starter for Tennessee Martin. 0-2 on the year, 2.63 ERA. That's a called strike there on the first pitch. His last start came against Eastern Michigan. That was a loss. He pitched 6 2/3 inning. Gave up 7 hits and 7 runs, 4 of them earned, and walked 3 and struck out 6. So Cox is yet to find a win here, the lefty for Tennessee Martin. It's an 0-1 count, 1 out here for the Jacks, and Cox delivers. That one's driven right back up the middle. Dickey is going to score, and we're going to wave around Sanchez, but he falls down. I believe Sanchez had a chance to score there, but as he came around third, he had the green light, but falls on his way around third. That'll put runners at the corners, though. And Dickey comes across the plate and gives the Jacks an early 1-0 lead here in this ball game. That'll bring up the senior from Lufkin, transfer out of Angelina College, Zach Marbury. First baseman, plays a little catcher as well. Runners at the corners for the Jacks, 1 out here in the bottom half of the first. And Marbury fouls that one back. Runners at the corners here. Sanchez on third. And Mackenzie Handel, who had the RBI single, over on first. Marbury steps into the box. 0-1 count. That one outside. And that evens the count up now to 1-1. Marbury picks up the sign. Steps back into the box now as Cox takes a look over at Handel. Comes set, and he throws it over there, and that one's missed. And Sanchez is going to take a chance here as the ball gets away from the Tennessee Martin first baseman, Phil Sorensen. He couldn't handle the ball, gets away from him, and Ricardo Sanchez scores to put the Jacks on the board again. Now 2-0 here in the bottom half of the first inning. Skyhawks find themselves down early here, 2-0. Their lone win coming against Eastern Michigan in a tournament, 5-3. They picked up that win a couple of weeks ago. As Cox sets, delivers, and that one's called outside and brings the count to 2-1 now. Cox on the year 0-2, 2.63 ERA. And Marbury steps in, looking to continue what's already been a great start here for the Lumberjacks. And there goes Handel. The catcher mishandles it, and Handel's still going to get in there for a stolen base. Skyhawks catcher Mikey Nance, the ball got away from him there, and Handel slides in, and now got a runner in scoring position for Marbury to pick up here with a 2-2 count and 1 out. No one holding Handel at second. Steps away. Cox comes set, delivers a 2-2 pitch. That one misses high and outside, and it'll bring a full count here to Zach Marbury. As he steps back into the box looking for a base hit. Pick up an RBI here. Make it 3-0 here in the bottom half of the first inning. Marbury, here comes the 3-2 pitch. That one lined down the third baseline. That one's going to bring in Handel. This could be extra bases for Marbury. Yes, it's to the wall in left field. Marbury is going to be held up at second base, and the Jacks are off to a 3-0 lead here against the Skyhawks. Marbury just lines that one down the third base line, goes all the way down to the Ford sign in left field off the wall. Chase Young finally grabs the ball and gets it in and holds Marbury to a double, and that'll bring up to the plate now for the Jacks the third baseman and senior Brett Thornell, who had a big game the other night, drove his brother in twice against Texas Tech. And he'll step into the box looking to do more of the same here in the bottom of the first inning against Tennessee Martin. Cox comes set, looks back at Marbury, comes to the plate now. And that one's driven back up the middle. Second baseman can't handle it, and Thornell is going to beat it out. As the second baseman, Jake Deason for the Skyhawks, just couldn't handle that one. A shot that I thought may get through back up the middle, and Deason gets a glove on it, but that's all he can do. Is runners on the corner now with 1 out, and that's going to bring up the freshman, one of many freshmen, one of 9 freshmen actually here for the Lumberjacks, Nick Ramos. Ramos, one of 2 freshmen here in the starting lineup for the Jacks. He's got a chance to do more damage here in the bottom half of the first. Cox delivers the 0-1 pitch, and that one is lined back over to Sorensen. Line drive, Sorensen tried to reach back and tag Thornell, and he couldn't get to him in time. Almost a double play there for the Skyhawks, but Thornell gets back. And speaking of Brett, here's his brother Kyle Thornell, the sophomore left fielder. And Thornell will look to pick up an RBI here. Bottom of the third, Jacks lead this one 3-0. 2 outs here. Cox delivers the pitch, and it's going to miss high. Cox struggled, has given up a couple of hits here. Jack's doing a great job of capitalizing on those hits and driving in the runs. 4 hits already this inning. That one's fouled off. Also ruled 2 errors as well. Second baseman picks up one of those errors that allowed Ricardo Sanchez to score the 3rd run. Thornell steps back into the box. Cox is going to throw over to Kyle's brother Brett on first. Keep him honest. Marbury on third had the big double. Thornell on first. 2 outs here, 1-1 count. Cox comes and delivers. And that one's going to hit Thornell, and that'll load the bases here right off the hand of Kyle Thornell. And so now Will Vest, as you hear the loud yells for Vest, another freshman, as you can hear the, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Britney Spears song, walk-up song chosen for Vest. Yes, that is Britney Spears, of course. As tradition goes in baseball, the walk-up song typically chosen by each individual players. But for the freshmen, they don't get to pick their own walk-up song, so Mr. Vest is going to be walking up to Britney Spears for the time being. Vest, 185 on the season. He's played 8 games, started all of them. 27 at bats. Coach Cardenas said he would have a couple of freshmen like this have to play big roles early in their career here at SFA. And Vest with an opportunity here with the bases loaded. Cox delivers the first pitch of the at-bat, missing away for ball 1. Three runs, 5 hits, and 3 doubles this season for Vest. So playing well here early. And here comes the 1-0 pitch from Cox, and he watches that one go for a strike. The catcher, Mikey Nance, can't control it, but it's called a strike. Either way, and that'll even the count up at 1-1 with 2 outs here. Bottom of the third, Jacks lead 3-0. And Cox is going to come set and deliver, and that one's going to miss low and bring the count to 2-1 here for Will Vest, the shortstop, filling the shoes, or I should say trying to fill the shoes of one of the greatest players we've had in our program in Hunter Dozier, who's picked 8th overall in last year's Major League Baseball draft. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Cox. Vest watches that one go by, and it's 3-1 here. As Cox doesn't want to give up a walk here, I'm sure that Vest has the green light here, as he should get a good pitch here with the count at 3-1, 2 outs. Cox sets, and here comes the pitch. And that one misses outside, and he's going to walk a run in, and Marbury will walk across the dish. And the Jacks are up 4-0 early here, a big inning to start the game. And we'll go back to the top of the order as Matthew Dickey, who had the single to right field earlier in the game, and it looks like they're going to talk about it here. We'll see if Cox stays in the game or not. Looks like assistant coach Sean Yarborough out there for the Skyhawks, talking it over with Mikey Nance and pitcher Taylor Cox. As I mentioned earlier, Cox is just 0-2 on the season with a 2.6 ERA. So pitched 13 2/3 innings. He's given up 13 hits before this game. In his last outing against Eastern Michigan, where he struggled there and gave up 4 earned runs, 7 all together while he pitched, and that'll bring up Matthew Dickey again. And Dickey lines this one into center field, but the center fielder Fletcher Johnson's going to get under it, but not before the Jacks can score 4 runs off of 4 hits. They do leave 3 on the base path, but we'll go to the top of the second right after this.
Lumberjack fans make plans to support Lady Jack and Lumberjack basketball on March 6th when they host Oral Roberts at 6 and 8 p.m. Fans in attendance will also have a chance to win a new car, courtesy of Tipton Ford Spring Break Drive-Away. And fans, SFA Baseball is celebrating Texas Independence Day when they take on UT Martin this weekend at 2 p.m. All Texas residents with a valid Texas ID can purchase a discounted ticket today in the game for only $3. Leading off this inning for the Skyhawks, number 3, Jaycees Field. At the plate, the designated hitter, number 20, Ben Upton.
We're at the top of the second here as the Skyhawks trying to answer back to the Lumberjacks. 4 runs in the in the bottom of the first inning. And Jake Deason led off this inning with a walk, and Ben Upton, the designated hitter for the Skyhawks, comes up now and has a 1-1 count. Here comes Gann. He's going to throw back over to keep Deason honest, and Upton turned and showed bunt there. Upton's had their best average so far. I'll give you his stats in just a second. 1-1 count, and he shows bunt again, pulls back and fouls this one off to the parking lot, and that'll make the count now 1-2 here for the Skyhawks. 1-2 count. Jacks have a 4-0 lead. All those runs coming off 4 hits, 2 errors there in the bottom half of the first. 1-2 pitch coming from Gann. Pitch out there. Nothing doing there from Deason on first. 2-2 count. Gann comes set and delivers a 2-2 pitch. That one misses low in the dirt, and it'll bring us to a full count as Upton, full count, no outs. And weather has turned out to be actually pretty nice here for this one tonight, considering this afternoon. And that one's going to be just a dribbler back to the mound, and Gann will step and throw over to first. And Upton moves decent over to second, and the Skyhawks have runner in scoring position. Up now for the Skyhawks, the third baseman, Zach Malone. Malone batting .222 on the season. He's had 18 appearances at the plate, 1 RBI, .333 on-base percentage, and he'll look to get something going here for the Skyhawks in the top of the second. Gann sets, delivers. That one misses away in the dirt. Olsen grabs it, and that'll be ball one. 1-0 count, 1 out. And another good crowd here at Jaycees Field. A great turnout yesterday against Texas Tech in that heartbreaker in the top of the ninth with 2 outs. 1 out here, 1-0 count. Gann delivers. That's going to be a ground ball. Thornell gets a glove on it, throws it over, and gets him out. So a nice play there from senior Brett Thornell. Gets a glove on it and throws over to put out Zach Malone, and that'll bring up the catcher, Mikey Nance.
Now batting the catcher, number 25, Mikey Nance.
Nance steps in, has a runner in scoring position. 2 outs now, though, for the Skyhawks. Gann looks back at Deason, delivers, and the off-speed pitch comes in high for a ball. Mikey back into the plate, and Deason's off, and Olsen throws down, won't be in time as the runner over to third now. And Mikey Nance, the 5'11" junior from Carmichael, California, out of transfer from Sierra College, steps in with a 1-1 count, 2 outs. He's got a runner on third with his team trailing 4-0. Gann sets and delivers, and that one swung on a miss. An off-speed pitch there had Nance guessing. Now we've got a 1-2 count here, 2 outs, top of the second inning. Gann looks over at Deason, winds and delivers, and that one right just misses on the outside corner, and it'll be an even count now at 2-2. Gann sets, and here comes the 2-2 pitch. That one misses low in the dirt, and that'll bring us to a full count here. Skyhawks looking to get on the board here to answer the Jacks' 4-run first inning. Gann comes set with a full count. That one's going to be flied out, and let's see if Sanchez can get over there to it. And he's not going to be able to get over there. He slides and gives the effort, but can't get over there in time. Still a full count here, top of the second inning. 2 outs, and Nance will step back into the plate. And Gann will deliver the 3-2 pitch. This one called strike 3. The third K of the ball game for Cameron Gann. And Mikey Nance will go back to the dugout looking, and we'll have the bottom of the third here for you as the Jacks lead this one 4-0.
Okay, Ben, it's time for the cotton patch. Second inning double. If a lumberjack hits a double this inning, 2 lucky fans will win a free appetizer courtesy of Cotton Patch, located at 3117 North Street. Leading off in the second, for the Lumberjacks, the right fielder, number 11, Ricardo Sanchez.
Back now in the home half of the second inning, and Ricardo Sanchez batting for the second time tonight. Had a single to start the game as he gets Cox to go 2-0 here early in the count. Single up the middle, last at bat, and Cox delivers on a 2-0 pitch, and Sanchez fouls this one off to the left. Jacks put up 4 runs in the first inning. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, and that one dribbled off to the right side, and now the count's even at 2-2. Had 4 hits, 2 errors committed by the Skyhawks. Gave up 4 runs there, and here comes the 2-2 pitch, and he just reaches out there and keeps the at-bat alive. As we mentioned in the bottom half of the first inning, Ricardo Sanchez, the only Lumberjack picked on the preseason All-Southland Conference first team. No one was picked on the second team. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Cox, and he fouls this one away. As the kids go running down the steps here at Jaycees Field to pick up those foul balls. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Cox, and Sanchez drives that one to left field. This one's going deep. Is it going to stay fair? No, it'll be foul. Ricardo Sanchez got a hold of that one. Didn't have enough on it, though. So Ricardo Sanchez hits a deep fly ball, goes foul, 2-2 count though, and he gets this one over, and the shortstop there makes a nice play, and Max Balter dives, but the speed of Ricardo Sanchez, he's not going to be able to throw him out there, and Ricardo Sanchez is now 2 for 2 on the ball game. And with that, that'll bring up the catcher, Joseph Olson. Who had a sack bunt in the first inning, and he's going to have a sack bunt here in the second inning to move Sanchez over to second base. So Olson now with 2 sack bunts in this contest. And so that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter and the senior, Mackenzie Handel, who had the single right back up the middle. And he's also picked up the RBI this afternoon as well, as he drove in Matthew Dickey. Almost had 2, but Sanchez fell in the dirt on his way around third there in the first inning. He would go on later to score as Handel steps into the box here for the Lumberjacks. 4-0 lead, 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning. Sanchez at second, and that pitch comes in for a strike. As I mentioned, the Jacks with several new faces here on this 2014 team. 15 newcomers for the Lumberjacks. Lost some key players in last year's class as the 0-1 pitch, and Cox just turns and wants to keep Sanchez close to the bag. The 0-1 pitch now from Cox, and that one goes in on the outside part of the plate for strike two. Now deep in a hole here, 0-2 for the designated hitter Mackenzie Handel. Looks over to the dugout and gets his signs. Cox takes a look back at Sanchez, and now he'll come to the plate on the 0-2 count. That one mishandled there by Nance, and it'll be called ball. Bring the count to 1-2 now. So 15 newcomers here for the Jacks, 9 freshmen on the team, 2 in the starting lineup, with Nick Ramos at second and Will Vest at shortstop. So 2 of the top spots in the infield with freshmen, as Handel's going to foul that one back over to the left-hand side. 2 freshmen, and then sophomore Joseph Olson, who got a lot of playing time last year, is behind the plate, brings some experience there. And sophomore Kyle Thornell out in left field. So a young team here, and they've put together some runs early on in this season. 1-2 count now from Cox, and that one's going to miss low and away, and it'll even up the count at 2-2. They've played a tough schedule so far. They played 6 teams, or they will play 6 teams ranked in the Collegiate Baseball Top 40. So they've played the likes of Alabama. Texas Tech came here yesterday to play. Scott delivers the 2-2 pitch, and that one's just popped up out to left field, and it's going to go out of play behind the SFA dugout. So Handel battling here in the bottom of the second. Jacks went to Tuscaloosa last week and upset them on game 1 of that 3-game series, and went on to lose the next 2. The next 2 very close, though. Well contested games there for the Jacks as they brought a win back against the number 21 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. 2-2 count here for Mackenzie Handel. Sanchez at second. That one, and it's going to get Handel swinging. Had him guessing, reached out, and couldn't make up his mind, and he'll be called strike 3 there. And now 2 outs here as Marbury comes to the plate. Marbury, of course, had the double down the left field line all the way to the wall there in the first inning to drive in a run, as Cox throws the first pitch of the at-bat. That one will miss outside for ball 1. First 7 games here for the Jacks have been on the road. Finally back at home on Wednesday after Tuesday's game against Arkansas Little Rock was postponed due to rain, as Cox delivers the 1-0 pitch. That one a called strike, and it'll even the count up at 1-1. They start the first 7 games on the road. Had beautiful weather during both those weeks where they were starting, and the week that they come back, of course, is the week that it rains every day. As Cox delivers the 1-1 pitch, and Marbury chases that one in the dirt, and it brings the count to 1-2 now. Jacks up 4-0 here in the bottom of the second. Marbury at the plate with Sanchez at second. And Cox delivers the 1-2 pitch, and that one just misses on the inside, and it'll even up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here, bottom of the second. as the fans continue to come in here at Jaycees Field. Marbury stands in at the box, and Nance is going to go out and talk to his pitcher. So the game against Arkansas Little Rock postponed from last Tuesday, and it'll be played on this Tuesday, March the 4th at 6:30 right here at Jaycees Field. We'd love for you to join us. They'll also play tomorrow a doubleheader against the University of Tennessee Martin Skyhawks. Originally it's supposed to be a 3-game series, but rescheduled to a doubleheader due to Sunday's forecasted weather. And Cox looks back at Sanchez, delivers the 2-2 pitch, and it misses outside, and we'll have a full count here in the bottom of the second inning. As you can see, some of the fog starts to come in and the wind pick up a little bit. It's died down for the most part today, but starting to pick up here a little bit. 3-2 count, 2 outs, bottom of the second inning. Marbury stands in and he swings and misses, and Cox will pick up the strikeout there. That's now 2 in a row. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, and the Jacks will go to the top of the third inning, leading this one 4-0.
This next birthday party an unforgettable experience at Jaycees Field. For information on the Lumberjack birthday package, contact Brett Gallagher at 936-468-1259.
We've reached the top of the third inning here at Jaycees Field as shortstop number 42 Max Balter leads this one off for the Jacks. 1-1 count early here for Gann. Gann's looked good early in this game. Set 3 Ks so far as he gets a strike 2 there on Max Balter. One-two count. Here comes Gann with the delivery, and that one's going to miss high for ball 2. 2-2 count now for Balter. And Balter fouls the 2-2 pitch off there. He's played in 3 games, all against Eastern Michigan. Played shortstop. He's had 6 at-bats and 3 hits, 2 runs, and an RBI as the 2-2 pitch off speed, and there's another K there for Cameron Gann. Now that's 4 on the game as Balter sent back to the dugout looking on that one. 1 out now here in the top of the third. That'll bring us back to the top of the order with number 36, left fielder Chase Young, who was one of those 4 strikeouts for Cameron Gann as he gets this at-bat started with a ball. 1-0 pitch here in the top of the third. That's going to be a called, I thought it may be a ball, but it's called, excuse me, I thought it was going to be a called strike, but called a ball, and they've got a 2-0 count here early for Chase Young. That one is in there for a strike. It brings the count to 2-1 as Cameron Gann working quickly here in the top of the third. 2-1, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Gann. That one dribbled back up as Vest is going to mishandle this one. Freshman over there got a weird hop. And Chase Young is going to reach there on an error from Will Vest. With that error, that'll put one on for the Skyhawks and bring on the right fielder, number 1, Taylor Douglas, who had the single there in the first inning, right back up the middle. And he'll look to get something started here for the Skyhawks as Gann sets and delivers. Douglas shows bunt, but pulls it back for called ball 1. That one's in there for a strike, and it evens up the count at 1-1. Taylor Douglas, the right fielder, 5'11", 185 junior from Holiday, Tennessee, the transfer from Jackson State Community College, as Gann fires over to Marbury to keep Chase Young close over there at first. That one misses low and away for ball 2. So a 2-1 count here to Taylor Douglas. He's got a runner on first with Chase Young. So I'll try to do a better job here of keeping the score there on your screen, right, as the 2-1 pitch will miss low and away for ball 3. Three-one count, 1 out here in the top of the third for the Skyhawks. Taylor Douglas takes called strike 2, and we've got a full count now. And Gann looking to work quickly again. He's already got 4 strikeouts in this game as he sets, and here comes the 3-2 pitch. That one is a called strike 3 as Gann gets another one down. That's 5 here in the game for Cameron Gann. So 5 strikeouts. Not a bad way to start the game here for Cameron Gann. Chase Young reached on an error at shortstop. He's at first, and the first pitch of the at-bat to Fletcher Johnson is a called strike as well. Center fielder also singled out to a right field in his first at-bat. And he looks to get a 2-out rally here for the Skyhawks. 0-1 count. Young on first. Here comes Gann with a pitch, an off-speed pitch, and Fletcher Johnson just gets the bat on it as Cameron Gann came with the off-speed, and Fletcher Johnson was guessing there. Fletcher will step back into the box now with an 0-2 count, 2 outs. He's got a runner on first. Gann comes, sets, delivers the 0-2 pitch, and misses away as he looked like he put a little something behind that one. One-two count now coming here from Gann. He looks back over at Young and delivers the 1-2 pitch. That one also misses low and away. Fastball on the outside of the plate, and that'll bring the count to 2-2 now here with 2 outs. The freshman outfielder here for the Skyhawks at the plate. 2-2 count, top of the third, and here comes the pitch from Gann. That one misses. It's 3 in a row now from Gann as he's trying to put a little something on it and just misses on the outside of the plate. So we've got a full count here, as you can expect Chase Young to be running on this pitch. Cameron looks back over at Young. He'll be going. And Gann sets and delivers a 3-2 pitch, and it's fouled back And the freshman keeps his at-bat alive here. Johnson, the freshman from Pelham High School in Helena, Alabama. 5'9", 155. Had the single in the first inning. He's got a 3-2 count now. Here's the pitch from Gann. Oh, and it's called a ball for a walk there. As Gann again gave the skip off the mound as if he thought he were going to get the called strike 3. Instead, the freshman will walk down to first and put runners at first and second now for the Skyhawks. And the first baseman, Phil Sorensen, will come to the plate now for the Skyhawks. Sorensen struck out in his first at bat, and here comes the first pitch of this one, and it's fouled back toward his own dugout. Sorensen batting on the left side of the plate, throws right-handed though, the 6'1", 208-pound senior, coming from Cathedral Preparatory in Pennsylvania. He's down in this count 0-1. Here comes Gann with the pitch. That one driven deep into right field. And I don't know if Thornell is going to be able to get under, Sanchez is going to get under it, and he does. So a deep fly ball there for Phil Sorensen. And we give up an error that inning and a walk as well. But Gann manages to get out of it. Jacks will go to the home half of the third inning, leading this one 4-0.
Okay, fans, it's time to get to know your Lumberjacks and tonight's Know Your Team. Did you know the most home runs hit in a season was in 2007? And the Lumberjacks hit 73 total round trippers. This inning of Lumberjack baseball is brought to you by Brookshire Brothers and Acquisitions Memorial Hospital. Leading off the third for the Lumberjacks, the third baseman, Brett Thornell.
We're here in the bottom half of the third inning, and third baseman Brett Thornell will lead this one off. He was hit by a pitch in his first at bat, and he'll try to get something going here for the Jacks, and he gets one right back up the middle, and a shortstop fills this one cleanly for the Skyhawks, and Max Balter throws him out. So first pitch he sees from Cox, he hits a hard grounder back up the middle as Balter makes the play. And now we've got one out here in the inning. That's going to bring up one of the two freshmen here in the starting lineup, the second baseman, Nick Ramos, who reached earlier on an error as he flies that one back out of play to even the count up at 1-1. Ramos, the freshman out of Plano East High School in Richardson, Texas. 5'8", 165, faces the 1-1 pitch, drives this one back over to Balter. Balter looking to make the second out of the inning. This one's scooped up and thrown out. Ramos brings a lot of speed on the base paths. Just like Dickey, there's actually several Lumberjacks here with a lot of speed. He almost beats that one out, but it'll be another out for Balter. And with that, that'll bring up the sophomore Kyle Thornell, who was walked in his first at-bat in the first inning. Loaded the bases with the walk as he'll face his first pitch of the at-bat and takes strike one. Oh, 1 count here from Cox as he's looks to have found his rhythm here And just as I say that, there's a looper that's going to get down for Kyle Thornell, and he'll pick up his first hit of the night. So Kyle Thornell getting something started here with 2 outs. So just a looper there into center field, and that'll bring up the freshman, number 18, Will Vest. He had the ground out to first. I don't know that the Britney Spears walk-up song will get old all year. Here comes the first pitch of the at-bat, and it'll miss low and away for ball 1. Cox looked to have found his rhythm there in the first 2 at-bats. Got 2 quick outs, and Thornell battled and got a looper, and he's going to go back over to first to keep Thornell honest. So we'll see if Thornell's single to center field can get something started here for the Lumberjacks in the home half of the 3rd inning. 1-0 count here to Will Vest. The pitch coming from Cox, and it's going to miss high for ball 2. So a 2-0 count here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Jacks have a 4-0 lead. All 4 of those runs coming in the 1st inning. Vest takes the 2-0 pitch and swings and misses there. Nice pitch there from Taylor Cox. Skyhawks, this is their ace. He's 0-2 on the season, and he delivers the 2-1 pitch, and Vest swings and misses there, and brings the count now to 2-2. He's their go-to pitcher. He's got 2 losses though to UAB in Eastern Michigan, and he's down 4-0 early here, and that one misses on the outside of the plate, and we've got a full count now to the freshman Will Vest. Flew out there in the the bottom of the 1st inning, and you can expect Kyle Thornell to be running here on the 3-2 pitch. Here comes the 3-2 pitch from Cox, and that one is fouled backwards. And Vest will keep this at bat alive. Vest looks back over to the dugout, picks up a sign, and steps back to the plate and looks on to Taylor Cox. Taylor looks over to Thornell. Thornell will be running, and Cox steps off the back of the rubber. No one holding Thornell on. 3-2 pitch now coming from Cox, and there goes Thornell. But Will Vest will go down swinging with a K. That's Cox's 3rd K on the night. And we'll go to the top of the 4th inning. Jacks lead 4-0 here at Jaycees Field. We're in the top of the 4th inning now, and leading this one off for the Skyhawks will be the second baseman, Jake Deason, who walked earlier in the game, and he'll try to get something going for the Skyhawks as Cameron Gann has pitched well, and he delivers a ball there on the first pitch of the at-bat to Jake Deason. 1-0 pitch misses high and outside for ball 2. As Gann has 5 strikeouts through this game. He's only given up 2 hits to the Skyhawks, and Jake Deason steps into the plate. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. That one misses low and away, and it'll be 3-0 here for Jake Deason. He walked earlier in the game and could possibly pick up another walk here. 3-0 pitch coming now, and that's a called strike. And Gann will try to come all the way back here to get Jake Deason. The 3-1 pitch now coming from Gann, and that one's dribbled off to the left side, and quickly now we're at a full count, and Gann has a chance to get him back here. As Jake Deason, the redshirt sophomore from Memphis University School, Bartlett, Tennessee. Here comes the full count, and he'll take his base as Gann's pitch missed high there. With the walk, that's going to bring up Ben Upton, Skyhawks' best hitter on the season. He's got a .429 average, 1 home run, and 4 RBIs here tonight. He'll try to get something going. No outs here in the top of the 4th inning, and his team trails 4-0 here in Nacogdoches. 0-1 count is mishandled there by Olson, and that's going to send Deason over to second base. One count here as we had a UPD officer at the window asking a question. We're shorthanded tonight. We've got UIL basketball going on over in the Coliseum, as well as a high school tennis tournament going on campus, as Gann delivers the 1-1 pitch. That one misses low and inside, and it'll move the count to 2-1. The Class 2A regional semifinals are tonight. They're at William R. Johnson Coliseum, so we're thinned out up here, but nonetheless we're going to bring you Lumberjack baseball here on SFA All Access, as that one is popped up and dropped. So Brett Thornell, the senior, couldn't get under that one and will commit the error there. So Upton reaches on a pop fly error. And coach will go out and have a talk with him. Speaking of William R. Johnson Coliseum, the SFA Lumberjacks basketball team picked up a win in New Orleans last night, 103-63, and with the win that gives the Lumberjacks the outright Southland Conference title. Back-to-back champions now for the Lumberjacks. They are riding a 23-game win streak, which is second only to Wichita State. They own the longest road winning streak, and they're tied at 31 with Florida and Duke for the longest home winning streak. So some great things there. We'll talk about more throughout the night from Coach Underwood and the Lumberjacks. Lady Jacks also picked up the win last night. Here comes the first pitch of the at-bat as Gann turns and throws. Runners at first and second now here, top of the 4th inning. As Gann will deal the first pitch of the at-bat to Zach Malone. Again, he turns and throws as the Jacks expecting a bunt with Thornell and Marbury pulling in, as Thornell, the senior, gives out the signal for the defensive coverage here for the Jacks in the infield. Zach Malone now up. He's had a ball go over Thornell earlier in the second inning. And here comes the bunt. He pulls it back, and it'll be a called ball here to start the at-bat for the third baseman, Zach Malone. So Upton reaches on a error by Thornell, and that puts runners at first and second here for the Skyhawks in the top of the fourth inning as they trail 4-0. Expecting bunt again. Marbury comes in. That one is laid down, and Olson's going to take this one as that one gets thrown away. Ramos couldn't handle it, and that's going to bring around Jake Deason. So he'll score as he was coming anyway on the bunt, and the throw mishandled by the freshman over there at first base. And another error here for the Lumberjacks is going to cost them a run. Runners now at first and third here for the Skyhawks, and they're on the board now. So that'll bring to the plate now the catcher, Mikey Nance. He had a strikeout in the in his first at bat in the second inning, and he takes ball one there for his at bat here in the fourth. Quickly now to a 2-0 count here for Nance as he steps back into the plate, and the Skyhawks look to rally here in the top of the fourth inning. Gann comes, sets, delivers the 2-0 pitch. That one's going to be called strike, and the crowd kind of comes alive here. Try to get behind Gann and help him get out of this jam. No outs. Runners on first and third for the Skyhawks. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Gann. This one's going to be a fly ball deep, and Ricardo Sanchez is going to get under it as Upton on third will tag. Here comes the throw from Sanchez, and he is thrown out. What a throw by Ricardo Sanchez as Ben Upton tagged from third base. And a great play there by Sanchez, and quickly it's 2 outs. As the fly ball from catcher Mikey Nance out there in right field, and Ricardo Sanchez easily throws out the designated hitter Ben Upton as he tagged from third. And so now Gann in position to get out of this without giving up a run as he throws the first pitch strike there to the shortstop Max Balter, who was one of the strikeout victims so far today for Gann, as that one just misses on the inside to even up the count at 1-1. One pitch coming now from Gann. That misses on the outside, and it'll bring us to 2-1. As Max Balter will try to get something going here, as the Skyhawks couldn't capitalize there on the runner with the runner on third. As ball 3 comes in to Max Balter. I misspoke earlier. I said that Gann would get out of this without giving up a run. He's already given up 1 run, so it's 4-1, but avoided giving up that second run as the 3-1 pitch is going to miss, I guess, low, and Max Balter will take his base and bring up, we'll go back to the start of the lineup as Chase Young will come up to the plate. He's struck out and reached on an error today. That error over to Will Vest in the top of the third inning. So Chase Young, the left fielder for the Skyhawks, have 2 runners at first and second. He shows bunt here with 2 outs, and Gann is going to miss high there with first pitch. 1-0 count, 2 outs, runners on first and second. Here comes the pitch from Gann. That one misses low and moves the count now to 2-0. As Coach Johnny Cardenas will go out to the mound. to talk. And he's going to bring in a new pitcher here as Cameron Gann with an absolute great performance here through 3 2/3 innings.
Number 30, Josh Keith.
And so into the ball game now for the Lumberjacks will be number 30, Josh Keith, the right-hander, right here out of Nacogdoches. He's a junior, and he'll come into the game now with runners on first and second. So Cameron finishes 4 2/3 innings. He's only given up 2 hits, 1 run. As I tally the numbers here on Gann's outing so far, he had I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ks. If I've got that right, I could be wrong. We'll have to look at the scorebook after the game is over. But 5 Ks here for Gann. Only gave up 2 hits, as I just mentioned, and he walked 3. Walked Jake Deason twice. So 3 walks, that's the final numbers on Cameron Gann, the junior who's already 2-0 here. Has 4 2/3 inning, 2 hits, 1 run. One of that run was earned. 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. So not a bad outing there for Cameron Gann. And Josh Keith, the junior from Nacogdoches, 6'3", 195 right-hander, comes into the game now. As he 0.0 ERA on the season. He's made just 1 appearance this season, 1 inning pitched. He's only given up 1 hit and 1 run. That run was not earned, so that's why his earned run average is not affected. He's had 1 strikeout on the season, so the junior trying to get a little bit more time here in this 2014 season, as he's from right here in Nacogdoches. Will take the mound with 2 outs, and he comes in to face the at-bat here with the 2-0 count, runners on first and second. Two-one pitch here from Keith, and that one's going to be a called strike to even the count at 2-2. So Keith looking to come in and get out of this jam quickly. 2 outs in the inning, only giving up 1 run here in the top of the 4th. Here comes Keith, delivers on the off-speed pitch and just misses low. And we've got a full count here in the top of the the top of the 4th inning. 2 outs. And the runners will be going here on this pitch. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch from Keith, and that one's fouled off to the left-hand side. As the left fielder Chase Young looking to battle here and keep his at-bat alive. So runners at first and second. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch from Josh Keith. That one's dribbled back over to the third baseman, Brett Thornell, and he is going to beat it out. So Thornell pumped once and then finally threw, and Chase Young is going to beat the throw out, as Brett Thornell could not get the throw over there in time, and that's going to load the bases here for Taylor Douglas. Douglas 1 for 2 here tonight with a single and a strikeout. As Keith is going to step off the back of the mound. Like I said, Keith hasn't made very many appearances, just one actually, one inning, one hit. There was a run given up, but it was not on him apparently. His earned run average is at 0. Here comes the first pitch of the at-bat. This one driven into right field, and Sanchez will come up throwing here. Oh, and he cuts it off, but he's still thrown out as Ricardo Sanchez makes 2 huge plays there, but not before the Skyhawks bring around 2 runs there in that inning. Great throws there from Ricardo Sanchez to throw out players twice in that inning. We'll go to the bottom half of the 4th inning as the Skyhawks get 2 runs there in the top of the 4th. Jacks still lead this one 4-2.
Leading off this inning for the Lumberjacks, the center fielder, Matthew Dickey. R&K distributed.
Matthew Dickey will lead us off here in the top of the 4th inning. Quickly to 2-0 here as he avoids getting hit by a pitch there. 3-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Skyhawks managed to get 2 runs there. Jacks have not scored since the bottom of the 1st inning as Cox throws it in, and Dickey will lead off with a walk here to start the 4th inning, bottom of the 4th inning. So after making 2 big-time plays there in the top of the 4th inning, Ricardo Sanchez comes to the plate now. Made 2 huge throws there in the top of the 4th. A couple of runs could have scored. It would have been a tie ball game. But thanks to his arm out there in right field, he prevents that from happening. Here comes the first pitch of the at-bat. He's going to lay down a bunt. And for the 2nd time tonight, he's going to reach base on a bunt to second base. So a great job there by Ricardo Sanchez of executing what his coach asked him to do. And we've got now runners at 1st and 2nd with no outs here to start the the bottom of the 4th inning.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, the catcher, Joseph Olson.
That's going to bring up the catcher, sophomore Joseph Olson. And it looks like Olson is going to be in a position to sacrifice bunt here for the 3rd time of the night. He's batted twice and sacrificed both times as Dickey held in check there by Cox as he just turns and doesn't throw, turns and looks at him. As Olson probably set to sacrifice here as well. Here comes the pitch from Cox. No, he turns and looks at Dickey again. Dickey with 4 stolen bases, actually 5 now on the year, including tonight's game. So a threat there on the base, both runners threats on the base pass, and Cox finally comes set, and here comes Olson, And he simply bunts it down, and Olsen will reach first. As the first baseman, Phil Sorensen, could not come up with the ball. I don't know if the wet grass had something to do with it, but we're going to give them the error there. And Olsen reaches first. So now the base is loaded here for the cleanup hitter, Mackenzie Handel, the senior, who's already had a single today, struck out in his last at bat, but will look to pick up a couple of RBIs here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. So just like that, the bases are loaded, and Cox is in a bind here with no outs in the bottom of the fourth, the DH cleanup hitter for the Jacks. And it looks like head coach Brad Goss is going to go out and talk to his pitcher, if not make a change. Coach Goss, like I mentioned earlier, was named the interim head coach for UT Martin. He's a 9-year member of the Skyhawk coaching staff, was the university's first ever full-time assistant baseball coach back in 2007 when he was tabbed for the job. Spent his previous year as a volunteer assistant at UT Martin, and 2 years before that as a graduate assistant. He was the hitting and third base coach and worked to develop the hitters, trained catchers, and spent 5 years as the program's recruiting coordinator. So he's been with the Skyhawks for a while now. He spent some time there at the University of Tennessee Martin program for a while. Here comes the first pitch to Mackenzie Handel, and he fouls this one off down the right side. And the fog again begins to set in here at Jaycees Field. So he goes from a graduate assistant to an interim head coach at this point. The Skyhawks have not really produced, as they're 1-7 this year. As Handel watches that pitch go by for ball one. This is his first season as the interim head coach of the Skyhawks, and here comes the pitch from Taylor Cox. A 1-1 count to Handel. Handel swings and misses there, and the count now moves to 1-2. Bases loaded here, bottom of the fourth inning. Jacks lead this one 4-2. As Mackenzie steps into the box, and he calls time and steps back out of the box. Jacks haven't had a problem scoring runs this season. Scored 14 against UT Arlington, 12 against Incarnate Word, and then 4 against Texas Tech yesterday. Here comes Cox with a 1-2 pitch, and this one's driven out in the left field. This one's going to get over the head of Chase Young, and they're all going to come around. Here comes Dickey, and here comes Sanchez, and also Joseph Olsen will score, and the Jacks, just like that, off of a double from the cleanup designated hitter, Mackenzie Handel, drives in 3 runs, and the Jacks lead this one 7-2. As Matthew Dickey, Ricardo Sanchez, and Joseph Olsen all come around to score, as the left fielder for the Skyhawks, Chase Young, was playing in, and that one got over his head and over in front of the fans out there on the left field porch. So just like that, the Jacks are on the board with 3 more runs. 7-2 now here in the bottom of the fourth. And we've got a question, I guess. As I guess that they said he said he missed first base, and Coach Cardenas is coming out to share his differences with the call. And apparently it was a good enough explanation as Cardenas walks away, has a few other words, and nods his head and goes back to the dugout. As he chuckles on his way back, and he'll join Mackenzie Handel, who's apparently called out. So that's now one out in the inning here for the Skyhawks. We'll maybe get an explanation of that one later on. And Zach Marbury comes to the plate and takes strike one. Marbury 1 for 2 on the day. He had the double there in the first inning, picked up an RBI. As he looks at ball one go across the plate there. And he fouls that one back, and it's now a 1-2 count here to Marbury. 1 out. Taylor Cox still in the game for the Skyhawks, their ace. Jacks hold a 7-2 lead as Marbury steps into the box. And Cox comes set and delivers the 1-2 pitch, and Marbury will go down swinging for the second at bat in a row. And as they go on the throw around, Mikey Nance throws it into left field, and as you can tell, the crowd enjoyed it.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, the third baseman, Brett O'Neill.
With that strikeout, that'll bring up to the plate the senior Brett Thornell. Hit by a pitch in his first at bat and then grounded out to shortstop in his second at bat. As he takes strike one there. And quickly it's to an 0-2 count as he looks at the second pitch go by on the inside. Now Cox dealing quickly here. Comes set. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, an off-speed pitch that's driven out into left field. It'll go foul. The count will remain at 0-2. Thornell trying to find his first hit of the evening. 0-2 count now from Cox, and that one misses high and inside, and it'll move the count now to 1-2. Cox sets, delivers. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and it's an off-speed pitch. Just barely misses as the Skyhawks infield took off running toward the dugout, but it'll move now to 2-2. And 2-2 pitch with 2 outs coming. That one misses inside, and now we're at 3-2. So a full count here. 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning. Jacks have already scored 3 runs here in this inning. No one on base. Here comes the full count pitch. That one's driven into left field. And Chase Young is chasing it and can't get there in time. He was playing shallow earlier, and then Mackenzie Handel sent one over his head, so he's playing a little bit deep, and that time he wasn't able to corral that foul ball. Still a full count as you see Thornell walking back into the batter's box. No one on base here for the Jacks. He'll step back into the box with a full count now. Taylor Cox sets and delivers the full count, and he pokes this one, and he'll hit it right to the shortstop, Max Balter. But the Jacks do score 3 runs here and moves the lead to 7-2 here from Jaycees Field over the Skyhawks. We're now at the top of the fifth. Jacks hold a 7-2 lead over the Tennessee Martin Skyhawks as Josh Keith will stay in the game here as delivers first pitch, strike one. And he watches that one go by for the ball to even the count at 1-1 as he's facing the freshman center fielder Fletcher Johnson, who's 1 for 2 on the day. He had a single there in his first at bat. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Josh Keith. That one misses low and away for ball 2. Fletcher Johnson, one of the only freshmen here on the lineup for the Skyhawks, in the starting lineup, I should say, plays center field. Had a base hit in his first at bat. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, and that one's fouled back, and it'll even the count up at 2-2. Josh Keith turns and looks, gets his sign. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Keith. That an off-speed pitch, and it's mishandled there by Olson. Just missed there on the inside part of the plate. And that'll bring us to a full count here to start off the top of the fifth inning. Keith gets the sign. Here comes the 3-2 pitch, and it's swung on and missed as Josh Keith will pick up his first strikeout of the game. And the fans, as you can see in front of the camera, for every strikeout, there are t-shirts being tossed into the stands. So Fletcher Johnson starts off the top of the fifth inning with a strikeout. That'll bring up the first baseman, Phil Sorensen. Who reached on the air in his last at bat. It's at a 1-0 count now here to Sorensen. The first baseman who mishandled the ball there on the infield. This count goes now to 2-2. It loaded the bases and gave way to Mackenzie Handel's double. Apparently McKenzie missed the bag there at first, called out. Drove in 3 runs. Jacks lead 7-2. Here comes the 2-0 pitch from Keith, and it's now to 3-0 here. As Keith will have to come all the way back in this at-bat here against Sorensen. 3-0 pitch coming from Keith, and it's going to be a called strike. 3-1 count now. The Skyhawks coming off of a tight 6-2 loss to Southern Illinois in their home opener on Tuesday. They were tied at 2 all through 5 complete innings before Southern Illinois blew it open. And this play not handled there by Ramos, and Sorensen with a shot there in a right center field, and he'll reach with a base hit, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Jake Deason. And with 1 out, they trail 7-2 here in the top of the fifth inning. Drew Erie and Fletcher Johnson. Erie, who's not playing or who's not starting tonight, each drove in a run for the Skyhawks in that game against Southern Illinois. Here comes the pitch from Keith. First pitch of the at-bat is a ball, misses high and outside. The junior lefty Taylor Cox on the hill for the Skyhawks tomorrow in this next game. Dalton Potts expected to take the mound for game 2. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Keith with a runner on first. And that one's going to miss low and inside as our man, student assistant for the operations, brings up the popcorn and Sprites for the press box. As my fellow co-workers up here at the press box excited about the drinks and food. 7-2 lead for the Jacks. 2-0 pitch here from Josh Keith. That one misses low and away, and again, Keith finds himself in a hole at 3-0 count here, 1 out, with Jake Deason at the plate. Deason watches this one go by for ball 4. And now the runner's at first and second, and Cardenas has seen enough. And he'll come out and take the ball from Josh Keith's hand. Didn't give up a run in his time in. Got him out of the last jam, and we'll make a pitching change. Cardenas talks to his team while they've got him out there on the mound. Runners at first and second. Only 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning, as number 32 for the Jacks, Kevin Bishop, will come into the game. 6'1", 210-pound right-hand senior out of College Station. Right there out of A&M Consolidated. Bishop comes in to this game with 10.8 earned run average. He's pitched 6.2 innings, given up 9 runs. 8 earned runs. He's walked 1, struck out 3. He's 0-2 on the year, so Bishop trying to get things going in the right direction here, and he's got a great chance to do it, as his team holds a 7-2 lead. As we talked about the Lumberjacks earlier, the men's basketball team, who won 103-63 last night. Be sure to come out next week as we host our final 2 home games. Oral Roberts Thursday night on March the 8th. The ladies will tip at 6 o'clock and the men will tip at 8. And then on Saturday, the season finale at William R. Johnson Coliseum. And that'll be the Central Arkansas Sugar Bears and Bears will be in town. The women's basketball team for UCA currently sits in first place. The Lady Jacks sit in second place. The Lady Jacks continue to win, and the Bears happen to drop one against Lamar or Northwestern in their next 2. Could set up for a championship match on that Saturday. Bishop into the game now, and he gets the at-bat started here with Ben Upton. And it's a called strike on the first pitch. Runners at first and second here for the Skyhawks. That one just misses there on the outside. Move back to a 1-1 count. Upton, the best hitter so far this season for the Skyhawks, 429 average. 1 home run and 4 RBIs on the season. And Keith with a nice off-speed pitch. It breaks in for called strike 2. So Bishop has a 1-2 count, 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. And hopefully he can throw something here low and away and maybe get a ground ball and a double play to get the Jacks out of this inning, as Bishop is going to step off the back of the mound here. As we mentioned, the right-hander, 3-year letter out of College Station, as Olsen sets up on the inside and he gets him to swing at it, grounds it away, but it goes foul, as he can waste a couple of pitches here against Upton. Designated hitter for the night is Upton. 1-2 count, 1 out, top of the 5th inning. Jacks lead this one 7-2. Here comes Bishop with a 1-2 count. And he gets Upton to swing there, and Kevin Bishop gets a strikeout here in the top of the 5th inning. So 2 outs now for the Skyhawks. They've got runners on first and second. Zach Malone now up for the Skyhawks. He reached on an error earlier, and this one as Olsen threw it away. He'll try to get something going here with 2 runners on as Bishop throws another breaking ball in. That one misses on the outside part of the plate. And a 1-0 count here to the third baseman, Zach Malone. Grounded out to third base. in his first at bat. He's got a 1-0 count here, and here comes Bishop with a pitch. That one gets away from Olson, and the runners will advance on the play. So now runners at second and third with a 2-0 count. Here in the top of the fifth inning, Skyhawks find themselves down 7-2. Jacks scored early. First inning, they put up 4 runs and then put up 3 in the last inning. All 3 runs coming off of a double from Mackenzie Handel. I guess they ruled it a single since he was called out. Here comes the 2-0 pitch, another breaking ball, and drops in for a strike. So Bishop has the breaking ball working for him here in the top of the fifth. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Bishop. That one misses low and away, and here comes there's going to be a play at the plate, and he's going to be called safe. As Phil Sorensen comes, all 208 pounds of him comes barreling across the plate and scores a run for the Skyhawks, and that'll advance runner over to third as well. So a 3-1 count now. And here comes Bishop's pitch, and that one's fouled back as Malone keeps the at-bat alive. So a full count here, 2 outs. Skyhawks have scored a run here in the top of the fifth inning. They've got one more over there on third as Malone will try to get him in. Here comes Bishop with a 3-2 pitch, and that one's driven over to Will Vest. Vest steps, throws, and it goes off a one-hopper, and Marbury can't control it. And so the run will reach on an error from Will Vest as Jake Deason scores and makes it a 7-4 ball game here. Skyhawks still trailing. Runner on first now, Malone. That's going to bring up the catcher, Mikey Nance, who's 0 for 2 today. Strikeout, his first at bat as he faced Cameron Gann. As he drives this one down the third base line, and Thornell gets a glove on it, but it goes into the outfield, and that'll be a base hit for Mikey Nance. So runners at first and second now. Skyhawks doing all of this with 2 outs as they find themselves down 3. And we'll be at the 9 hole here with Max Walter, who struck out and walked tonight. He's got runners at first and second with Kevin Bishop on the mound for the Jacks. And that one is called strike there to start this at bat. Walter at the plate, Chase Young on deck. Here comes the pitch, a nice off-speed pitch again, the breaking ball from Bishop, and it moves the count to 0-2 now as Bishop's had the breaking ball working for him this half inning. He comes set, turns, throws, and misses low and away, and that'll move the count to 1-2 here for Bishop. So Bishop has a 1-2 count here with 2 outs. He's got runners behind him at first and second. He looks back, throws to the plate. Breaking ball misses well outside, and that'll move the count now to 2-2. Two count. Bishop comes to the plate now, and he fouls that one back. Does Balter to keep the at-bat alive. It'll stay at 2-2. Runners at first and second here for the Skyhawks as they find themselves down 3 here in the top of the 5th inning. They've already scored 2 runs here, and Bishop delivers on the 2-2 pitch, and that one's going to be a called strike 3. Kevin Bishop gets out of the jam with a strikeout. So the Skyhawks get 2 runs that inning. Jacks still lead this one from Jaycees Field, 7-4.
Okay, fans, it's time for baseball movie trivia. The baseball movie quote is, "If you build it, they will come." All right.
Second baseman freshman Nick Ramos will get things going here in the bottom half of the fifth inning as he watches strike two go by there. Jacks give up 2 runs there to the Skyhawks in the top half of the fifth, and they'll look to get some of those back here as Ramos fouls that one back to keep the at-bat alive. One-two count here. Cox still in the game for the Skyhawks, and Ramos faces and he dribbles it right back up the middle. Ramos has the speed to beat this one out. He won't, as the second baseman Jake Deason makes the play there for the Skyhawks. One down here in the bottom half of the inning for the Skyhawks, and that'll bring up the left fielder, the sophomore number 9, Kyle Thornell. Kyle walked in the first inning, had a single back up the middle in the third, and this will be his third at bat here. 1 for 1 on the day. Thornell sets in, swings at a, should I say golfs at that one. That one in the dirt, had him mixed up there, and he'll try to regather himself and get back in the box here at 0-1 count with 1 out. That one a called strike, and he's down. Oh and 2 here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Cox. Swung on and missed by Thornell, and this time they get the throw around right and not into left field. As Thornell will go back to the dugout with a K. As the Skyhawks with a little momentum here. 2 runs in that inning and 2 quick outs here for Cox as he's looking to work quickly. And Brittany Spears is playing, so that means Will Vests will come to the plate. The freshman has his walk-up song chosen by the other players as he's going to send this over to third base. And Zach Malone will step and throw, and it's a 3 up and 3 down as the crowd not happy about that call. And Cardenas shakes his head, and the Lumberjacks will go to the top of the 6th inning here, leading this one 7-4. We'll have more from Jaycees Field right after this. To the top of the sixth now. Bishop still in the game for the Lumberjacks as the left fielder Chase Young flies this one out to sophomore Kyle Thornell in left field. Quickly one out here for the Lumberjacks. Jacks lead this one 7-4. Here in the top of the sixth inning. They go down in order though in their last at bat in the home half of the fifth inning, as Bishop tries to do the same here in the top of the sixth as he freezes Taylor Douglas with that curveball, and the count goes to 0-1. 0-1 pitch now from Bishop, and Douglas showed bunt, and Olson checks down to first. First base umpire says he did not go, so that'll bring the count now to 1-1. Bishop sets. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one just misses on the outside. Now moves to 2-1. And the home plate umpire and Coach Cardenas, as you may have heard him there on the microphone, exchanging words as Douglas gets this bunt down and Bishop fires over to first base, and he's going to throw him out. A nice play there. From Kevin Bishop, as he does it all on his own. And now that's 2 outs in the inning. First pitch of the at-bat, and that's a deep fly ball out to left field, but Kyle Thornell will get out there, and it's under the warning track. And Fletcher Johnson, the freshman, sends a deep one out there, but Kyle Thornell there to make the catch, and the Skyhawks go down in order, 1, 2, 3. As we'll have Matthew Dickey, Ricardo Sanchez, and Joseph Olsen leading off the Lumberjacks here in the home half of the sixth inning. Jacks lead this one 7-4 here from Nacogdoches.
Okay, fans, it's time for Fuzzy's Taco Loudest Row Contest. The row that makes the most noise will receive a free taco, courtesy of Fuzzy's Taco, located at 4909 North Street. So fans, get on your feet. Let's hear you make some noise for some Fuzzies.
Home half of the sixth inning here, as Matthew Dickey will get things going here for the Lumberjacks. Singled in his first at bat and had a walk there in his second at bat, as he is now at 0-2. Excuse me, at 2-0 now. Walked in his last at bat. Here he is in the bottom of the sixth inning. And he looks to get things going. 2-1 count here. If Dickey can get on base, he's definitely a threat. He's stolen backs 5 times this year as he watches strike 2 go by. And it's now 2-1 count. The Jacks hold a 7-4 lead here over the Tennessee Martin Skyhawks. Skyhawks coming off of a loss against Southern Illinois. Jacks coming off of a loss here in the home opener against Texas Tech. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and Dickey flies this one out to left field. And Chase Young, again, can't really figure out how to play it. He decides to stay in front of it, and a single there for the sophomore out of Kilgore, and that'll bring to the plate the senior Ricardo Sanchez. Ricardo Sanchez twice in this game has had a sacrifice bunt that's gone towards second, and he's beat out the throw both times. He's also had a single to left field, so he's 3 for 3 on the night. And Sanchez looks to continue that as Cox throws over to Dickey. Try to keep him close over there. Dickey's already stolen one back tonight. And the first pitch to Sanchez comes now, and it misses. Well, he's going to call it a strike. Thought it missed low. As Johnny Cardina steps out to say something and shakes his head. It's 0-1 now. Here to Ricardo Sanchez. Cox comes back, comes to the plate, and there goes Dickey. It's a hit and run. Dickey comes. And the second baseman, Jake Deason, looks over at Dickey, watches him go to second. And just as good as a sacrifice bunt there for Sanchez, and that'll slide Matthew Dickey over to second base, and that'll bring up the catcher, Joseph Olson. As Olson will actually now have a chance to swing the bat this inning. Olson has sacrificed bunt 3 times in this game. The first 2 sacrifices, he was out, and then he reached on an error in his last at bat. This time he'll actually get to swing the stick as ball 1 goes by. 1 out here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Jacks lead this one 7-4. 1 out here. Dickey on second. Cox still in the game for the Skyhawks as Olson takes the 1-0 pitch and drives this one into right field, and it'll get down for a base hit. They'll hold Dickey up. A shallow fly ball there, and now a base hit for Olson. So he finally gets to swing the bat and proves it to be a good thing as he gets a base hit into right field, as they won't pinch run for him. He scored earlier in this game as well. So runners at first and third here for the Jacks with 1 out. And that'll bring out Mackenzie Handel, who had the big double there in the 4th inning that drove in 3 runs. So 3 RBIs for Handel. And they're going to talk about this and how they want to pitch to Mackenzie Handel. He had a single in the 1st inning, struck out in the 2nd, and then had the 3 RBIs there in the bottom half of the 4th inning to give the Jacks 7 runs on the board. They lead this one still 7-4. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Dickey on third, Joseph Olson on first, as Ricardo Sanchez grounded out to advance Dickey in his at-bat. So 1 out, and here comes the first pitch from Cox to Mackenzie Handel, and he watches that one go by for ball 1 there on the outside part of the plate. Handel steps out, now settles back into the batter's box. Mikey Nance gives Cox a signal. Cox looks over, now deals. This one's driven. It's just popped up right here in the infield, and Max Balter will get under it, and not what Mackenzie Handel wanted to do there, but he does make a play. It'll be the 2nd out of the inning for the Jacks. Marbury steps to the plate now. He struck out in his last 2 at-bats. Had the big-time double there in the 1st inning to bring in a couple of runs. And the catcher, Mikey Nance, looking back over to the dugout to try to get the signal over there, and some confusion going on from the dugout of the Skyhawks. And Cox finally gets the signal, looks over at Olson and delivers the first pitch of the at-bat to Marbury. And Marbury swings at that one that's low and away, and it moves the count to 0-1. 2 outs here. Bottom of the 6th inning, 7-4. Jacks lead this one. Runners at first and third, and here comes the 0-1 pitch from Cox. He thinks about swinging, but holds up, and this one's called a ball. They check down to first, but there's no need as didn't go around there. Moves the count now to 1-1. Marbury with a chance to pick up another RBI here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cox comes, sets, delivers the 1-1 pitch, and swung on a big swing there from Marbury, and it comes up empty. So a 1-2 count here, 2 outs for the Jacks. Dickey's over at third, led the inning off with a base hit. Olson at first. Cox looks down at Olson. This time comes to the plate. That pitch misses away, and it got a 2-2 count here with Zach Marbury at the plate. Here in the 5-hole for the Jacks. Senior transfer from Angelina College. And here comes the pitch from Cox on the 2-2 count. And he rings him up. So the third strikeout in a row for Zach Marbury here in the bottom of the 6th. So the Jacks leave 2 on base. They still lead this one here from Nacogdoches 7-4 over the Tennessee Martin Skyhawks. We'll be back for the top of the 7th inning here in just a moment.
Okay, fans, it's time for the Hungry Howie's signed game day ticket. If your ticket is signed by Coach Gravinius, you just want a small 2-topping pizza courtesy of Hungry Howie's Pizza at 3205 University Drive. You can pick up your voucher at the athletic marketing table.
We've reached the top of the 7th inning here. Jacks lead this one 7-4 as Kevin Bishop faces Phil Sorensen here in the top half of the 7th. It's a 1-2 count. And here comes Bishop's pitch, and it's swung on and missed for Sorensen, and he'll go down swinging there to lead off the 7th inning. Jacks couldn't convert there in the bottom half of the 6th inning, leaving 2 runners on. Zach Marbury struck out for his third time in a row, as he'll possibly have one more at bat here in this one, and that'll bring to the plate now Jake Deason, the second baseman for the Skyhawks. Deason has 3 walks on the day, and he's got a 1-1 count here against Kevin Bishop out of A&M Consolidated. 1-1 pitch now from Bishop. A nice curveball there as he's had that one working for him, and moves the count now to 1-2. 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. 1-2 count. Bishop gets a sign, comes to the plate. 1-2 pitch is driven high in the air, and it looks like Zach Marbury is going to get under this one and put it away for out number 2. And so the Jacks quickly with 2 outs here. And Jake Deason flies out to bring up the Skyhawks' best hitter this season, Ben Upton. He's the designated hitter. Upton so far is 0 for 2. He reached on an error back in the 4th inning. Struck out in his last at bat as the umpire says, yes, you did go there. And the count goes to 0-1. That one misses on the outside of the plate there for Bishop. Now the count at 1-1 here in the top of the 7th inning. Jacks quickly put away 2 for 2 outs. Lead this one 7-4. Here's the 1-1 from Bishop as he paints the outside of the plate, and it's going to be called a ball. And it moves the count now to 2-1 as the dangerous Upton takes the second pitch, and he goes around just as he did on the first pitch of the at-bat there, and moves the count now to 2-2. 2-2 count, 2 outs here to Upton. That off-speed pitch is just fouled away there. Bishop came with the off-speed and had Upton confused, and he just barely gets the stick on it. Keeps the count alive nonetheless, and here comes Bishop with the 2-2 count, and he delivers that one, just misses low there, and it'll move the count to 3-2. Base is empty, full count, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning for the Jacks. That one swung on a miss. Another great breaking ball there from Kevin Bishop. So Bishop, who's struggled at times this year, he's 0-2 on the year. He's got a 10.8 ERA, is working nicely here in the last couple of innings. And the Jacks lead this one 7-4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and it's time to stretch it out here at Jaycees Field. We'll be back with the home half of the 7th inning. Jacks lead this one 7-4. Seventh inning stretch here at Jaycees Field. Jacks lead this one 7-4. Brett Thornell, Nick Ramos, and Kyle Thornell will get this inning started for the Lumberjacks. We want to mention that the SFA Lady Jacks knock off Arkansas as they travel to Fayetteville yesterday to take part in a tournament up there, and they knock off number 21 Arkansas. They've already beaten Army this season, so a couple of big wins. They won their home opener as well on Wednesday against Texas Southern as Carly Thomas pitched a wonderful game. And that one, ladies had a couple of opportunities to score a few more runs. Coach McNutt says that she's got a couple of young players, and but they're playing well here early. She understands that this team has got to capitalize on some of those mistakes, but they're playing mistake-free here today, or played mistake-free today as they knock off Arkansas. So congrats to Coach McNutt and her team for the big win there, as they've got 4 more this weekend to play. As Kyle Thornell steps to the plate, and we've got a new pitcher into the game here for the Skyhawks. As soon as I can see the back of his number, I'll be able to tell you who he is. As Brett Thornell swings at that one and misses, and it's now 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and right back at the pitcher, and Brett Thornell won't be able to beat that one out. That'll bring up Nick Ramos to the plate as number 22, John Skubina, is at the mound for the Skyhawks. Skubina's first pitch comes into Ramos and it misses and gets the at-bat started with a ball. 1-0 count here, 1 out. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that time that one misses low, moves it to 2-0. Skubina, 6'1" righty out of Kennesaw, Georgia. He is a senior. He delivers the 2-0 pitch here to Ramos. That one misses inside, and Ramos looking to get on base here, possibly with a walk. He reached on an error in the first inning, struck out in the 6th inning. Rounded out to second as well. That one misses on the inside, and he'll take his base there for ball 4. So Jacks get on the base pass here with some speed over there at first. That'll bring sophomore Kyle Thornell to the plate. So Kyle Thornell comes to the plate. He's walked, he's had a base hit, and he struck out in his last at-bat. He'll come to the plate here, try and get something going. As Ramos gets the walk, he's on first. The first pitch of this at-bat is a ball. So it's now 5 straight balls here for the senior John Skubina. 1-0 count, 1 out. Jackson, the bottom of the 7th here, lead this one 7-4, and Ramos is off. Hit and run was on possibly, and Nick Ramos goes into second. He'll pop up, and just like that, and he's into third. So the throw couldn't be handled there by the shortstop Max Balter. The ball ends up going into right field, and Ramos advances over to third base. Called strike on the pitch, by the way. So a lot of speed here. A lot of youth for the Lumberjacks in this 2014 team, but they bring some speed in several different areas. And the catcher, Mikey Nance, goes to talk to his senior pitcher, John Skubina. So a 1-1 count here with 1 out. Thornell, Kyle, that is, at the plate. And Mikey Nance steps back and gets a sign from his coach over there in the dugout. Jacks lead this one again, 7-4, out hitting the Skyhawks thus far, 10-6. Both teams with 4 errors. And Thornell will try to get Ramos in here, and the 1-1 count. Off-speed pitch is wild, and Ramos breaks for the plate. It's going to be play at the plate, but Ramos crosses safely. And the Jacks will score here. Bump the lead up to 8-4 as Ramos gets the walk. Still second, advances to third on the wild pitch. And, on the wild throwdown. And the wild pitch there allows him to score the 8th run of the 9th. So Jacks up to 8 runs tonight. So believe that's free canes for those here in the Nacogdoches area. The Jacks have scored 3 or more runs. Have to wait for our PA, Kevin Keller, to make that official. As the 2-1 pitch is popped up here on the third base side, and it won't be playable. And the count will now move to 2-2. UT Martin 1-7 overall coming into this game. Jacks 3-5. They've played their first 7 on the road before taking on Tech yesterday. Here's the 2-2 from Skubina. That one is popped backwards, and it's going to go right out of play on the other side of the net there. Still 2-2 count. Like I said, the Jacks started the first 7 on the road. We're supposed to play on Tuesday against Arkansas Little Rock. That game was canceled due to rain. Sunday's game, as far as we know, has been canceled as well. So we'll play a doubleheader tomorrow starting at 2 o'clock, 30 minutes in between games. 2-2 pitch here from Skubina. Thornell at the plate for the Jacks. Misses up and away, and it's a full count now for Thornell. It's early, but it's always never hurts to have a doubleheader here out at Jaycees Field. 3-2 count here from Scubina is fouled backwards. We hope that you can make it out here as well. Season tickets still available for the Lumberjacks this season. We play 24 home games. We've got 6 weekend series, including this weekend. 936-468-JACK is the number that you can call, or visit sfajacks.com to get your tickets. Here's the full count pitch, and it's fouled away as well as Kyle Thornell really battling here with John Scubina. I apologize. So a lot of opportunities to come out and spend the day with the family. Watched a lot of great baseball. Coach Cardenas does a great job here, not with just his players, but his interaction with the fans and the community. And full count pitch here. Off-speed pitch is just blooped into left center, and the shortstop Max Balter will make the play there for the second out of the inning. And that's going to bring the freshman Will Vest up to the plate. As I mentioned, Coach Cardenas said his guys has got a young team, but and this is one of them, another freshman substitution here. Connor Fikes, the freshman from Rowlett High School in Rowlett, Texas, and he'll pinch hit here for Will Vest. Another freshman. I mentioned we have 9 in the lineup this year, and 2 of them in the starting lineup, and then of course Connor Fike here, 1 pinch hitting. So a young team, but a great group of guys. They've been fun to watch so far. A heartbreaking game yesterday against the Red Raiders of Texas Tech as they were on their way to Houston to play at Minute Maid. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's fouled back to make the count 1-2. Red Raiders, if you missed it yesterday, 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. We were a strike away from walking away with beating the number 26 team in the nation, and then Texas Tech hits a fly ball, much like the one here today, and they got over Chase Young's head and scored 2 runs for the Red Raiders as that pitch misses there for Scubina. So the Red Raiders score 2 to make it 5-4, and then in the bottom of the 9th we left 1 stranded, so we lost that one 5-4. Heartbreaking game there here at home, the 2014 home opener. Jacks bouncing back here today as they lead this one 8-4. That 2-2 pitch is flied if it stays fair, and it's not going to. Chase Young having a rough go of it over there in left field. He's been deep, he's been shallow, he's been shifted. He's had a couple of plays where he's misjudged the ball. That time he can't get the jump on it and get over there to it. Again, tomorrow's games will be doubleheaders starting at 2 o'clock. UT Martin and SFA will continue this series. And then, of course, the postponed game from Tuesday will be made up against Arkansas Little Rock this Tuesday. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Scubina. That one, a breaking ball, misses on the outside. The home plate umpire has really not given that call all night and doesn't start it now. Full count now here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and that one is flied over to Young again. But that one's going to go well out of play. And Connor Fike is going to continue this at bat. Kyle Thornell did much of the same before he was finally put out. And the Lumberjacks look to continue to battle here with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They lead this one 8-4. They've out-hit the Skyhawks 10-6. Here comes a 3-2 pitch driven right back up the middle. And the freshman Connor Fike reaches with a base hit to center field. And that'll bring up the always dangerous Matthew Dickey, who had a single in his last at-bat to get the 6th inning started. So here he is again in the 7th inning. And with 2 outs and runner on first, freshman Connor Fike over there on first. And the senior John Scubina at the mound for the Skyhawks. Taylor Cox will have his numbers from his game today. He'll be dealt a loss if the Jacks can pull this one out. And Fike gets the jump, and he's there in time. They're going to call him out, though, as Coach Cardenas walks that way. And I don't know if he's going to talk to his freshman or if he's going to talk. Yeah, he's going to talk to his freshman there, Connor Fike, as maybe he missed the jump there or what. Nonetheless, the Jacks lead this one 8-4 here as we go to the top of the 8th inning. We'll have more from Jaycees Field right after this. Top of the 8th inning now for the Skyhawks. They'll get this one started with third baseman Zach Malone, who fouls that one back. Skyhawks begin their annual spring break trip here, this road swing, a 10-day span. Skyhawks play 8 games in 3 different states, all away from home, as Malone watches that one go by for strike 2. They'll play Central Arkansas, part of the Southland Conference, one of our Southland Conference members. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Bishop. That one misses there on the outside of the plate. They play Central Arkansas for a 2-game midweek set before they go to Valley Conference play in Alabama against the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, as Malone fouls that one back. So a tough span of games here for the Skyhawks, as they're on a big-time road swing, down 8-4 here, and that one's fouled off there from Malone. They'll play 2 more tomorrow here at Jaycees Field. Starting at 2 o'clock, we'll play the second one 30 minutes immediately following the first game. Jacks will play again on Tuesday against Arkansas Little Rock, and then the Jacks won't be back at home for another game until Friday, March the 14th, as we begin conference play with the McNeese State Cowboys that Friday, and then it's a 3-game series. The Friday is March 14th at 6:30, March 15th at 2 o'clock. That's a Saturday, and Sunday at 1 o'clock against the Cowboys. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Bishop. Breaking ball misses off the plate. You can still get your season tickets calling 936-468-JACK or visit sfajacks.com. 6 weekend series altogether this season. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one misses outside as well. And Bishop finds himself back to a full count here as he tries to sit down Zach Malone, and Malone fouls that one back as well. So 6 weekend series. We've already hosted Texas Tech. We've played at Alabama. We played Oklahoma State in a tournament. We'll go on to play at Arkansas, and then we'll host TCU after the 3-game series with Lamar. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Bishop, and he swings and fouls that one off to the right, out of play. So we'll host TCU on April 29th at 6:30. It'll be under the lights here at Jaycees Field. First time we've played under the lights that started last season. Here's the 3-2 pitch, foul back again, as Malone is battling. Jacks, of course, hadn't played baseball until 2006, the 11-year gap from 95 to 2006, and then last season played under the lights for the first time. And that 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed by Malone, and there's a strikeout there for Kevin Bishop. So 1 out away here in the inning for the Jacks. And that'll bring to the plate now 25, Mikey Malone. Excuse me, Mikey Nance. Malone just batted. So several games under the lights here this season. First time last year we played under the lights. A beautiful facility out here at Jaycees Field. If you can't get out to the games, you can listen online. Watch and listen online as the first pitch goes in for a ball. You can also follow us on Twitter for updates at SFA_baseball. I have live tweets throughout the game. And that one, here's the 1-0 pitch from Bishop. That one goes on the outside of the plate, called strike there. Moves it to a 1-1 count for Nance. Nance is struck out, flew out, and had a single on the day. This one back up the field, and it's going to be Fike who just throws it over to Marbury. They move Ramos over there. Fike's at second now. So the put out there from Nick Ramos slid from second to short, and that's now 2 outs in the inning for the Jacks. As I said, at SFA Baseball on Twitter. You can like us on Facebook for as well for any news, photos, updates from everything SFA Athletics, or visit sfajacks.com. A lot going on here in Nacogdoches over the next couple of weeks. I'll fill you in on all the action here shortly. It's the first pitch of the at-bat for the pinch hitter for the Skyhawks. It's called a strike. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and that one misses for a ball on the outside. And Nico Zick in here for the Skyhawks to pinch hit. He's facing a 1-2 count here against Kevin Bishop. Bishop deals on a 1-2 count. Curveball. This one swung on by Zick, and it's going to be flown out, and Ricardo Sanchez gets under it and puts it away. So we're going to the bottom of the 8th inning here. Jacks lead this one 8-4. We'll be back with more from Jaycees Field in Nacogdoches.
Lumberjack Baseball would like to recognize today's season ticket holder at the game, Jane Weisner. Jane, thank you so much for your support of Lumberjack Baseball. This inning of Lumberjack Baseball was brought to you by Austin Bank and Fish and Still Equipment. Leading off this inning for the Lumberjacks, center fielder Matthew Dickey.
We've reached the bottom of the 8th inning here at Jaycees Field in Nacogdoches. Jacks hold the lead 8-4 here over the Tennessee Martin Skyhawks, and get this one started here for the Lumberjacks is number 3, Matthew Dickey, the sophomore out of Kilgore High School. He's had quite the start to his season already. Leading hitter so far for the Jacks as he watches ball 1 go by there. Dickey's had 2 singles and a walk on the night, and this one line drive to second base, and he's put out there for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring to the plate now for the Jacks the senior right fielder Ricardo Sanchez. Ricardo Sanchez steps into the to the box now and watches strike one go by. Ricardo also having a big day, not only in the box but on defense as well. Two big throws from the outfield as the 0-1 count gets him swinging there. Move it to 0-2. Two big throws to save 2 runs as the score was 4-2 at the time. There in the top of the 5th inning. Drew 2 out at the plate. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and he flies this one right here on the infield, and the first baseman, Phil Sorensen's going to get under this one and put it away for the second out of the inning as Ricardo Sanchez gets an out there. Sanchez had, as I mentioned earlier, the 2 big throws from right field were flyouts, and the runners had tagged from third, and he managed to throw them both out to save 2 runs. And we hold an 8-4 lead as the sophomore catcher Joseph Olson comes to the bat, as Olson singled in his last at bat as he swings there at the first pitch. Olson in his first 2 at bats forced to sacrifice, in his first 3 at bats, he had runners on first and second both times, laid down the sacrifice bunt. The third time he reached on an error, and then he finally got a chance to swing the bat, got a base hit, and this one's driven in a deep left field. This one's going way back, and it's gone. Joseph Olson with the solo shot to left field. We were just talking about his opportunities being slim as he sacrifice bunted the first 3 at bats. He singles there, and then the sophomore out of Waco launches this one into the parking lot in left field, and it's now 9-4, the Jacks lead here tonight. So a big-time shot there from Joseph Olson. Got a lot of experience last season as a freshman and is the primary catcher here as a sophomore for the Lumberjacks. And that'll bring designated hitter, cleanup hitter as well, Mackenzie Handel, who's had himself a night, a single in his first at bat. Then he had the double there in the 4th inning. It drove in 3 runs. And with 2 outs here, Mackenzie Handel steps to the bat, and he drives this one right back up the middle, and Handel is going to beat this one out on a throwing error. So the Jacks with a little life here with 2 outs. The throw from Max Balter over to Phil Sorensen. Sorensen couldn't handle it, and Handel beats it out. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch runner here. As Handel trots back over to the dugout as Dan O'Neill will be pinch hitting here. The junior transfer, the junior from Westchester, Pennsylvania. And then pinch running is Brandon Smith, one of the many freshmen that we have from Elysian Fields High School. And this one gets away. Actually, it's going to be a hit by a pitch as O'Neill will take his base. And so just like that, we have a solo shot from Joseph Olson. Mackenzie Handel reaches on an error, and now the pinch hitter Dan O'Neill gets on base after being hit by a pitch. So after 3 strikeouts from Zach Marbury, he was pinch hit for by Dan O'Neill, and then out at second base is Brandon Smith, the 5'11" freshman from Elysian Fields. So some speed out there at second base here for Brett Thornell, the third baseman, who's been hit by a pitch, grounded out to short, and then flew out to second base. So he's looking to pick up an RBI here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. First pitch to Thornell goes in for a ball. 1-0 count here, bottom of the 8th inning. Jacks lead this one now 9-4 off the solo shot from Joseph Olson. And this one right back up the middle, and we're going to wave around Brandon Smith. Here comes the throw to the plate. Smith is going to be thrown out at the plate. A terrific throw there from the center fielder, Fletcher Johnson. And the freshman is thrown out at the plate. He's waved around. A terrific hit there, though, from the third baseman, Brett Thornell. That'll take us to the top of the ninth inning. Jacks will try to close this one out here as they lead it 9-4 here at Jaycees Field. We've reached the top of the ninth inning. Jacks lead this one 9-4, and Kevin Bishop will try to finish this one off here. And he gets it started in the right way with a strike one. Dan O'Neill will stay in the game and go to first base for Zach Marbury. Here as Chase Young gets this, and the senior Brett Thornell tries to barehand it there and bobbles the ball and can't come up with it. So he'll reach base. I think we're going to give him the hit there. Yeah, on the base hit there. So the Skyhawks get Chase Young, the left fielder, on. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Taylor Douglas, here with no outs in the top of the ninth. And there's strike one there from Kevin Bishop. Back into the box goes Douglas. Takes a look over at Young, comes to the plate now, and he goes around, and that'll be strike two there for Bishop. No outs here in the top of the ninth inning. Jacks lead this one 9-4. Solo shot there from Joseph Olson in the bottom of the eighth inning to put the Jacks ahead. One more run, 9-4. They've out-hit the Skyhawks here tonight, 14-7. Here comes the pitch now on the 0-2 count, and just misses on the outside. As you hear a couple of the fans react to that one. He's been back and forth on the outside calls there tonight. This time he doesn't give the Bishop the benefit of the doubt. He comes set now to Bishop. Comes to the plate. That one misses well outside and move the count now to 2-2. Chase Young on first base. Reached on a little dribbler there to Brett Thornell. Trying to barehand it and couldn't come up with the ball on the throw. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Taylor Douglas. That one in the dirt, trying to get him swinging. Not a bad idea there. It moves the count to 3-2. Fletcher Johnson on deck, the freshman center fielder for the Skyhawks. Phil Sorensen, the first baseman, in the hole. Full count here to Douglas. Here comes the pitch from Bishop. This one popped up. It's going there into no man's land, and Ramos is going to get under it as he's made the shift from second base to shortstop there tonight, with Connor Fike at second base. The substitution doesn't change anything. Still freshman there in the middle part of the infield for the Lumberjacks. One out now here in the top of the ninth inning. Fletcher Johnson comes to the plate, and he watches ball one go by. Johnson is singled to right field. He's flown out to right field, and he struck out there in his last at bat. And here comes the pitch from Bishop, and that one just misses for ball two. 2-0 count here. 1 out here in the 9th inning. Jack's trying to close this one out and go to 1-1 here at home. 4-5 on the season. There's the pitch from Bishop. Same spot it looked like to me, but nonetheless it's called strike. 2-1, 1 out. And Bishop looking to work quickly. Keeps an eye over there on Chase Young, the left fielder at first base. Takes another step, comes set, and here's the pitch. The pitch grounded over to Thornell, but it goes foul, so now the count now at 2-2. Fletcher Johnson, even though he had that fly out there in the 3rd inning, he's hit the ball well tonight. Looks like a very young player. Could be a good one here for Tennessee Martin and Coach Goss and his staff. 2-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Bishop. That one swung on and missed. And we're down to just 1 out away from the Jacks picking up their first win of the 2014 season here at Jaycees Field. And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, the first baseman, Phil Sorensen, who's got 2 strikeouts on the day. He did have a base hit in the 5th inning. And the Skyhawks will have some work to do here in the top of the 9th inning. They're down to 1 out here as Bishop delivers the first pitch of the at-bat, and it's going to be called strike, and he quickly moves to 0-1. Sorensen, big 208-pounder, steps into the box, looks back at Bishop. Bishop sets now and delivers the 0-1 pitch. That one driven right back up the middle. Bishop kind of throws a hand at it, and that's a base knock there for Phil Sorensen. I look for a pinch runner there for him over on first if he advances. That'll bring up second baseman Jake Deason, who's walked in 3 out of his 4 appearances at the plate, and then he flew out to Zach Barberry at first in the 7th inning. So a force out at every bag here for the Jacks to close this one out and give them their first win of the 2014 season. As Bishop looks down to Olson, gets his sign, comes set, and delivers the first pitch of the at-bat. That one a called strike. As runners at first and second now for the Skyhawks. Jacks lead this one 9-4. Top of the 9th inning. 2 outs, 1 strike. And here comes the 0-1 pitch from Bishop. Off-speed pitch, just misses on the outside part of the plate. As Deason will battle. He's had 3 walks tonight. He's not afraid to sit back there and be patient. So the count moves to 1-1. Here comes the pitch from Bishop. 1-1 pitch, another off-speed pitch. This time gets it to go across the heart of the plate. So here it is, 1-2 count, 2 outs. Jacks looking for their first win at home this season. And Kevin Bishop comes sets at the 1-2 count, and Jake Deason fouls that one back and keeps the at-bat alive. Skyhawks with one runner on first and a runner on second find themselves down 5 runs here in the top of the 9th, and Kevin Bishop trying to close this one out. He comes sets. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that one driven deep into center field, but Dickey with the speed's going to get under that, and that's going to close this one out. Jacks will win this one 9-4 as a great outing here for Coach Cardenas and his guys, and we'll do it all again tomorrow afternoon right here at Jaycees Field. It'll be a doubleheader. First game is 2 o'clock, and then 30 minutes following that game, we'll play the second game. And Coach Cardenas and his guys will appreciate your support. I appreciate you listening in to today's broadcast. We'll do it all again tomorrow night. I'm Corbin Pate. Thanks for tuning in.